Accents of emotion are reflective thoughts of the past, experiences that have lasting effects. Past memories trigger happiness, sadness, frustration, and anger. For me, a good strategy for coping with painful circumstances was to accent that emotion, because in the end, we're all looking to heal from some traumatic event in our life. The early years left me scattered fragments of unrest that wandered the corridors of my addled mind. I'm sure anyone growing up on the streets can attest to its many challenges. I was a solitary misfit who found comfort in gazing out onto a concrete canvas full of potholes, shattered glass, and barbed wire fences. The greedy streets of death has a numbing effect on the human soul. You'd be amazed on how one finds contentment with such violence. Life is too short to squander wistful thoughts, unless it defines your destiny. As a child, I was confronted with some rough challenges, mainly staying focused. ADHD at its finest. Although my inability to focus was a hindrance academically, it fueled innate clairvoyant skills. Flooded by an onslaught of thoughts spinning on a Ferris wheel, I sensed what others felt, and often found myself finishing their sentences. Such premonitions were sudden, unexpected, and unsummoned. I felt no warning. They didn't offer names, dates, or times, only brief scenes yet to come. Ebenezer Scrooge isn't the only protagonist with a fascinating ghost story. It was still dark, except for the soft diffusion of twilight that crept through the crack of the window shade. I woke up, fraught with excitement, eagerly awaiting Santa's arrival. I nearly drifted back to sleep when out of nowhere, a figure appeared at my bedside. I hid under the covers, terrified. I remember peeking through a tiny gap in the blanket and saw a figure. That experience was the template that later would bring me to unexpected truths. I've always felt a deep connection to the spirit world in music. It evokes a range of feelings, transmitting pleasures associated with sound. Every rhythm has a vibration, capable of creating actions using melody. The cure for Saul's affliction came through harmony. David's playing drove out the evil spirit when he gained access to the peace of God. Somewhere, locked inside music, was the healing ingredients I needed. Drums fused a flow of emotions with a gateway to spirituality, bringing me to higher frequencies. I was definitely privileged to be part of the paranormal community and networking with some of the bigger veterans in the business. Traveling around the world to various locations only opened the door to more questions than answers. Being on television shows such as Haunted Case Files and Paranormal Survivor definitely allowed me the platform to give an opinion. I compare the spirit realm to a large ocean. The deeper you dive, the more you see what you never knew existed. My son was attacked by a spirit during the time our team took on some dark cases. I feel it was a warning that I entered uncharted territories. Fame's deception leads you to believe ghost hunting is a fun hobby for enthusiasts, but conveniently leave out who the real hunters are. Shades of Darkness chronicles a life of soul, a troubling empath who finds himself tangled in an allegorical tapestry of fleshly indulgence with fatal consequences. The book consists of 5 elements, each building off the other to create an interconnected theme of evolution. The first section, Earth, establishes soul's foundation as the son of the harsh city streets. Air initiates him into the unseen realm and his descent down a deceptive path. Fire serves as soul's refinement through various trials and tribulations. Water is his baptism of renewal that brings him to full circle. Spirit represents soul's ascension to wisdom and understanding. What I love about the story is that each character serves as a metaphor for good and evil. Pain, suffering, addiction, and heartbreak are the lessons that bring him to a place of acceptance and purpose. I put together Soul to represent our essence as individuals, a reflection of a divine matrix. Our spiritual journeys are met with lessons, some tougher than others. Those we cross paths with, whether good or bad, teach us the way to go. I believe God commissioned us to be a light for the brokenhearted and less fortunate. Paranormal research gave me the canvas to verify evidence I already knew existed through my own faith. I started out a seeker of universal life and found that God is a spirit of unconditional love. We all have voids in our narratives, lost time to reclaim, but in a vast sea of ignorance, we're sometimes left with unsettled thoughts. Memory has its own story to tell and brings each recollection as an accent of emotion. Tell me your darkest secrets, and I'll challenge you with mine.